Chat with Glendora, a show for living right. A chat with Glendora makes your day so bright. Words of inspiration, jokes to make you smile. Come relax and chat with Glendora for a while.
Folks, what do you know about Pittsfield, Massachusetts? What? What do you know about Pittsfield, Massachusetts? I know that it's in the Berkshires, and the Berkshires are part of the Appalachian Trail, you know.
Oh, yeah.
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 This is my dear, sweet friend, Vicky.
Hello, everyone.
I've got a story about you.
Uh-oh.
When I was teaching church school, after school, and during lunch hour, that was back in the days when schools had lunch hours.
Oh.
And this little boy didn't have any place to go on lunch hour, so he came to the church. And we would play games with him and show him the toys and read the Bible. And he came, and the other teacher wasn't there. And her name was Miss Nancy. Mm-hmm. And we always started with a prayer. And so he knew how to do it. He said, "Thank you, God, for the moon. Thank you, God, for the church. Thank you, God, for all the women in this church who keep coming and going." He said, "Thank you, God, for Miss Glendora, and thank you, God, for Miss Nancy, who is late." So that's my prayer for you.
That's me. I'm always late, folks.
No, tell us what you know, honey, about Pittsfield, Massachusetts.
Oh, gosh. Well, I know that Pittsfield, Massachusetts has a really great public access TV station.
Oh, very
I
good.
do know that.
Do you know the man who runs it? His name is Sean Sarah.
I've never met Sean.
Okay. Tell us more, honey.
And then I also know that it's just a really nice little quaint town. And
Good.
has lots of neat little shops and restaurants and things like that. So it has a good sense of community.
Do you know, honey, that they have a vegan restaurant?
I did know.
And as big as we are over here, bigger than they are, we don't have one. And they do.
I know. We should definitely have one.
It's called Thrive. THRIVE.
Oh, great.
And it's run by a woman whose last name is Pelletier.
Uh-huh.
And I think her first name is Sherry.
Okay,
Yeah.
nice.
Well,
I'll have to come by and check it out.
oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Bring as many as you can and send the bill to me.
Okay.
All right. Also, Vicky, long before you were born, Pittsfield had its own television station. Long 20 years before public access.
Yes.
It was called VHS. Do you know anything about VHS?
I don't. The only thing I know about is VHS videotapes, but I don't know anything about the Pittsfield VHS.
Would you forgive me? I misspoke. I meant to say UHF.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
I'm so sorry, honey.
I do. When I was growing up, we had UHF, and then what's the other one?
Well,
It was UHF, and then
the regular one.
yeah, I forget what the letters were.
That was from channel 12 down.
Yeah.
And UHS was from channel 13 down, and UHF was from channel 14 up.
Up. Yeah, I do.
Well,
I remember that when I was a kid. So
you do?
Yep. I was born in
do you remember-
1977.
Do you remember the number of the UHF channel?
No, I don't.
Well, Pittsfield had its own,
That's
and it
nice.
was channel 74.
Oh, okay.
And it was started by Leon Podolsky, and he
Okay.
was a consultant for the paper company up in North End, very famous paper company.
Oh.
Or was it Sprague Electric? I guess it wasn't a paper company, it was Sprague Electric.
Electric, okay.
And he started up this UHS station, And he deserves so much credit.
Yeah.
And he hired me, and he hired an announcer, and he hired a program manager, and he hired a sports director, and he had 2 secretaries in the office. And guess where it was located, folks? 8 Bank Row. Now, there was a gas company downstairs, and the TV station was the old WBRK. Am I right about that? And they had their own studio. They had their own auditorium, honey. And they used to do live shows. It was back in the heyday of radio.
Wow.
Back in the 30s.
Oh my gosh.
Hometown radio.
That's amazing.
Anyway, we had an antenna up on Mount Greylock. And by the
Oh,
way...
I know where that is.
You do?
Yeah, because Andrew likes to go there and ski and snowboard and hike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He and a lot of others, honey.
Yep.
There's good eating up there, too.
Yeah.
I know how, this is what I remember. You would come out of the TV station, down the stairs, you would make a left on the sidewalk. Okay, honey? And 8 Bank Road took you out to the main street. What would be the name of that main street? South Street? And anyway, when you got to the main street at the corner of 8 Bank Road, you would turn left, honey. And you would go 3 blocks, and the neighborhood became very residential.
Okay.
And you'd go 3 blocks, and you'd turn left, folks, and you'd go 3 houses, and that was my boarding house. It was back in the days when they had boarding houses.
Oh, neat. So you stayed in a boarding house when
I
you
did.
worked there?
I had a room,
Oh,
and
nice.
I had the room upstairs, honey. The front room upstairs, the best one.
Ooh.
And we had the food was so good. I would go down at 5 o'clock and eat supper, but I never could get there for lunch, and I never could get there for. I guess in those days I didn't believe in eating breakfast,
Okay.
and that was the most fun. It
That
was,
sounds
and
nice.
General Electric was so big then, honey.
Oh, yeah.
General
I'm
Electric
sure.
dominated Pittsfield.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. And,
So weren't they in they were in Schenectady and Pittsfield?
oh yes, yes.
That makes sense.
And in Pittsfield, folks, I believe they made transformers, didn't they? In Schenectady, they made everything, including locomotives.
Oh, wow.
Now, the word I get is about General Electric now is getting smaller and smaller. Jack Welch moved it out of Schenectady and put it down into Fairfield, Connecticut. WRGB is named after Walter R.G. Baker. He was a real
Oh.
person, but he did Schenectady in. He moved electronics over to Syracuse.
Oh, wow.
And that was the beginning of our decline.
Yeah. Oh.
Well, we know quite a bit about Pittsfield, don't we?
Yeah. I learned a lot. I didn't know all of that.
WMG-TV, Mount Greylock Television,
Oh, neat.
Channel 74. And that was my very first TV show, honey.
So was that the Satellite 7 show?
No, honey, that was Glendora and her picture party.
Yes.
And 2 little children, I would tell, they would be closeted, and I would tell the children at home the story like George Washington and the cherry tree. I would tell it to it by pictures that an artist drew for me, especially
Okay.
from the Springfield, Massachusetts library. And I would tell the story to the children at home, and then one child would be brought out of the closet, and he would tell the story as he saw it
Okay.
in the picture. And then the other child would come out of the closet, and he would tell the story as he saw it. And whichever got closer to the real story got the prize.
Oh.
But
That
honey,
sounds so fun.
well, it was. But tell you the truth, folks, I cannot stand to see anybody lose, so I would give them a prize too.
I wouldn't be able to. I
Yeah.
would do the same thing.
Yeah,
It's
and
hard.
say you
yeah.
were both good.
Yeah. That's what I would do.
Well, this is very good. But now don't get that television mixed up with today's television, because they had nothing to do with each other.
Yeah.
The first television is now dormant. It's dead. It isn't even dormant. It's dead.
Yeah.
It'll never come back. But now this new television came in with cable TV in 1970.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Now tell us about you.
Huh.
You worked for a cable TV station that was what we call a 501c.
Yes, a nonprofit.
Tell us about yours.
So I worked for Manhattan Neighborhood Network, and it's one of the largest public access TV stations in New York City. In Manhattan.
No, I would say it is the largest, not as far as subscribers go, but as far as 1,500 hours of programming a month.
Yes, yeah. So we wound up having 4 different channels that all were public access.
They were?
Yeah. By the time I left, there were 4 different channels that repeated on or were duplicated on RCN.
Oh, really?
And
RCN, that's another
RCN,
cable company.
And then was it Time Warner and RCN? Now I have no idea how it's set up. I'm sure it's different now. And we also did live streaming of our channels too. By the time
you did live streaming way back then?
Yeah, back then.
What year was that?
2000, and I left 2007.
Wow.
So like 2006, 2007.
You had live streaming?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, you could go through the website. It probably wasn't as fast as it is today, but you could click watch MNN live, and you could click on the different, one of the 4 different channels, and a little window would come up on your computer screen.
Really? Is that the way it was?
Yeah.
In other words, folks, you were watching television not on a television screen, but on the internet.
Yeah.
On your...
But it was the same thing that was streaming, the same thing that was being cablecast.
Oh, it was?
Yeah, so it was at the same time, except just a different way to watch.
They used to call those simulcasts.
Oh, yeah. That makes sense. Yep. That's what they are.
And this was, you were the program director of Manhattan...
Neighborhood Network, yeah.
Manhattan Neighborhood Network.
Yeah, so I started in the youth department doing the youth channel programming. So I programmed a block of all youth produced
What
shows.
a wonderful concept.
Yeah, and then they had an opening in the programming department for someone to do promotions. So I would edit together like little promos and little like interstitials. And then my supervisor, who was a programming director, left to pursue other things, and then I decided to apply for her job. So then I became the program director, and I was program director there for I think a couple years, and it was challenging, but it was really fun.
Oh, challenging. Am I right about that? $1,700 programs per month?
Yeah, it was a lot.
Public access programs, you understand, folks.
Yeah, so we'd have programs from all over the place, but a lot of the producers were Manhattan residents, and they produced shows at the studios.
And you
were at all the studios too.
You were one of the first to get rid of that foolish requirement that you had to have a local sponsor.
Oh.
You don't do that anymore. We are our own sponsors.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, that was very annoying. I think that may have happened as I was leaving.
I think it did.
Yeah, because I remember still having to deal with that, and it was very, it was hard for everyone.
Applications were nonsense.
Yeah.
What good did they ever serve?
And they did, they have enough airtime, so I just don't understand why. They have to fill it up, so.
Did you know that Queens has given that up also? And Brooklyn has given that up?
Oh, good.
Oh, yeah. Brooklyn doesn't require a local sponsor, nor does Queens.
Yeah. Oh, good. I wonder if something changed in the
Well, it's such a
franchise.
foolish thing. What does it prove?
Nothing. I guess they want people to the people who live in Manhattan have priority for airtime, I guess.
Well, sure.
But there's so much airtime.
Yes.
Then, it doesn't make any sense.
And then, honey, that's when I met you, when you were the program director of Manhattan
and you
Neighborhood Network.
You came from when you were living in Ghent, I think.
Yep.
And you came and visited me, and it was so wonderful.
I remember that so vividly.
Yeah.
And Suzanne McCormick came with me, and Patrick Hanlon came with me. You remember them?
I didn't actually realize it was them.
No, but that's who.
But yeah, but now I know them through, their program or her story and talking to her on the phone and everything.
You know something? There's a documentary.
Yeah.
She specializes in documentaries.
Yes.
There is a great documentary. That woman was left $122 million by her husband. She realized maybe $2 or $3 million. The crooked lawyers, the crooked bank, and the crooked court got the rest of it, honey.
That's horrible.
And that happens every day practically in Westchester County. You remember Tom Carvel, ice cream man?
Oh, yeah.
His whole fortune went that way too. His wife and his daughter got nothing, comparatively.
Oh my gosh.
Vicki, at that time that you were a program manager for the Manhattan Network, Neighborhood Network, you had a master's degree from New York University?
Yes. It's Gallatin School of Individualized Study is a program at NYU. So it's a program where you can tailor your study in various schools of NYU.
Wow!
So I did film, documentary film, photography, and women's studies.
Well, women's studies?
Yeah, so I took a bunch of different I took classes in film department, in photography department, and like gender studies and anthropology. And
Were you a first? Were you a first person to ever do that?
no, they have a whole, well, I might have been the first person to put those three things together. But other students combine the arts with many different disciplines also.
Vicki, do you know we also have a Boston Neighborhood Network, public access?
Yes, I do, yeah.
And I'll tell you the man who's in charge of that, he's a real sweetheart.
Oh, good.
His name is Glenn Williams.
Okay.
Now, if you call the Boston Neighborhood Network, as big as it is, it's like 5 times the size of Pittsfield.
Mm-hmm.
If you call them, he answers the phone.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
I love it. Call him, Glenn Williams, and tell him that you're a friend of Glenn,
Okay.
Dora, and you would like to do a documentary on him.
Okay. That would be good.
Now you're
Boston isn't too far.
Oh no, and Boston's a hub of the universe.
Yeah.
And it's another Massachusetts municipality.
Mm-hmm.
Now, tell us how you taught film and video at that high-class girls' prep school, would you?
Yeah, so Emma Willard School is a high school for girls, and Jane Fonda went there, and some other
Oh, she
well-known-
did? Stephen Fonda's daughter?
Yeah. Or is it Peter Fonda's daughter? Stephen Fonda.
Henry Fonda.
Henry Fonda, yes. Yeah, so anyway, it's a really interesting
Your memory's
school.
petering out, right?
I know it is. I don't have a great memory at all.
Yes, you do.
But yeah, so last spring semester I taught Emma Willard students film theory and film production, and it was 3 days a week for an hour-long class, 3 days a week, and it was wonderful. It was really
And she got paid
fun
$4,000 for that. I think it's terrific.
Yeah,
She made her college education's work.
yeah. It was really fun. There were 10 students in the class. and
Nice.
They all made really wonderful videos.
For instance.
They did 3 different types of videos. So they did one short 1-minute video on whatever they wanted. So some of the students made like little scripted stories about a high school girl getting into college, and
Excellent.
how that felt, and the bittersweetness of becoming an adult, but wanting to be still attached to her childhood. So that was really neat. And
That's
then
very neat.
one student did a video called Dad Makes Dinner,
What's that?
So it was a 1-minute video of her dad making different shots of her dad making an Italian meal, and that was really good. And
That's
it was
a good one.
set to music.
Now you have
And then they did documentaries. So they did documentaries about the arts and about the high school experience. One did a documentary about nature. So yeah, they did some
good
great
for you.
great videos.
I think that you were a great help to them, honey. And look how far ahead she put them from us. You know, were we that far ahead at the ages that she's talking about? No.
No, they all did really well, and they all knew. That's what I was saying about April, because they're about the same age as April, a little younger. They
18,
all just
yeah.
know how to use technology from the time they're
18.
born.
Yeah, 18, right.
Yeah.
Now, Vicki, tell our folks, about the documentary you did on a chat with Glendora.
Oh yeah. So then I after I went to NYU, a couple years after I moved up to Troy and went to RPI, Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute, and studied documentary film and video. And since I worked in public access TV before that, and I knew Glendora, I decided that I wanted to do my thesis on a chat with Glendora.
Thesis?
Yeah, so I did a thesis film about Glendora and her life in public access TV, and wrote about it.
You understand, folks, her thesis was not a piece of paper, like 40 or 50 pages. Her thesis was a video.
Yeah. I did have to write a 50-page paper about
You did,
it,
yes.
but it was more about the process of it.
This was a video. What kind of video did you hand it in on? VHS or?
DVD.
On DVD?
Yeah. Now, if I did it now, I probably would have to upload a digital copy file.
It would have to be what they
to
call
a database or something.
What do you call it? Dropbox?
Yeah, on Dropbox or on their server. They probably have a thesis. They probably have a server with all of the theses.
Video.
So.
Do you think someday, 50 years from now, nobody will be able to see it because they don't have a DVD to play on?
Yeah, exactly. I should follow up with them and get them a file.
You know, I think you should.
Yeah.
Now, mention again that 50-page paper that you wrote for academia.
Yeah, so that is archived along with the DVD, with the movie. That is archived at the RPI library. And it's a paper just about the process of making the video. And I also made a video about my grandmother, which I wrote about in it as well.
And another woman.
Oh, and Bernice Perry, who was an MNN. I think she's still alive, actually, because I just got an email.
The time is 11 o'clock a.m.
Now, Vicki,
I just got an email about someone who was in that documentary.
You did?
Yeah, a short documentary. I'm sending her a DVD.
Oh, good.
I sent her one yesterday.
You're
yeah.
always very kind to us, honey. There's something I wanted to ask you about that. Not only did she have to do that 50-page written paper to get it into academia, but she also had to prove before an open forum. You had to go before an open forum
Yes.
and face the public and let them ask you any questions they wanted to.
Yes. So I did that at this. Well, there were two parts. So I did that at the Sanctuary for Independent Media, the screening.
What address is that?
The public screening. Sanctuary for Independent Media is in North Central Troy. If people want to check it out, you can go to mediasanctuary.org, and that's where you can get all the information.
And you were grilled.
Yeah, so I went through a Q&A, and you were there.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah, that was fun.
And then after that,
we have a video of that, and you
Yeah.
can see it on a chat with Glendora.
Yeah, I need to get the copy on my computer.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, and I can get it. I know someone who's doing archival work at the Sanctuary, so I'll find out from her.
And then in addition to that, she had to go through a committee, and 2 of them were professors from RPI, and the third one was from where?
Oh, from MoMA, from the Film Department of Museum of Modern Art.
And she had to
New York
prove her
City.
case before them.
Yeah.
Now tell the folks where they can see a Chat with Glendora documentary.
Oh, so you can go to, it's actually on my Vimeo site, which is like YouTube. So you can go to vimeo.com, vimeo.com /V Kerezi, VKERESZI.
Say it again, Virginia dear.
Vimeo.com /VKERESZI, or you could Google a Chat with Glendora documentary, and
You can do that.
it should come up. Yeah,
And that's 55 minutes, is it, hon?
60 minutes.
It's 60 minutes.
Yeah. And that actually aired on all of Glendora's stations.
Yeah,
Cable
72
cast
of
it.
them.
And in Philadelphia.
Yep,
And
yep. And
it played at some film festivals.
in Chicago and Manhattan and Brooklyn and Queens and Staten
Yeah.
and Boston and Trenton and Atlanta,
Oh yeah, People TV.
San Francisco, San Jose, San Diego, San Antonio, and Portland, Oregon. Boy, that's a lot, isn't it?
Yeah.
The 3 Hartfords, Springfield, Massachusetts.
Oh yeah.
Steve Carey, I love you, Steve. Yeah, and on Comcast, Danbury, Comcast. Oh, Jesus, the 3 other folks. Gee, there's 3 other Comcast stations. Well, anyway, we did. I think we covered that pretty well, don't you?
Yeah, I think so.
Now you have other clients. You have Albany Med. You covered the
Yes.
graduation of the nurses.
Yes, Albany Med, and I'm doing another video of the Albany
It's
Medical College's anatomical donor
Donations.
program.
I'm
Yeah.
one of them.
I know. I told Josh you said hi. He said hi back. Joshua.
He says we weren't expecting you. And always be kind to your undertaker, folks. He's the last one in the world to let you down.
Oh.
Now, Vicki,
Oh my goodness.
when this great body, this is the greatest body, I'm telling you, it will get a disease or will get something and it heals it. And anything that's ever come along, hundreds of things, it's been able to heal it.
Mm-hmm.
This is the greatest body. So when this great body goes for a metamorphosis,
Mm-hmm.
Albany Med is going to come and take it to their college and give it to an anatomical first-year freshman student.
Yes.
And he's going to learn from that instead of from an animal. And then after about the 2nd year, Vicki,
Mm-hmm.
they have a convocation and they invite the relatives of the donors.
Yes.
And so my friends will go and they have the loveliest reception afterwards.
Yeah.
And you know what's nice about it, Vicki? Is that the student, the medical student, if he's good at playing the trumpet, he'll play trumpet solo. If he's good at playing the piano, he'll play a piano solo. If he's good at writing a poem, he'll write a poem for his
Aw.
donor.
Nice. Yeah.
And could you hand me Franklin's picture there on the wall there?
Oh, yes.
We did this for Franklin, but it was at the Westchester Medical College.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
There you
can you
go.
tell me the best way to hold it to the camera?
Yep, just like that.
Right. How about this? This is for sure.
Yep, I see him. Perfect.
What a dear man
Yeah.
he was.
Look at that smile.
Oh, yes.
Oh, so
Yeah.
adorable.
You know, he heard all of my jokes over and over again, okay?
And he laughed every time?
Well, the thing was, honey, he would begin to smile when I'd start to tell the joke because he was anticipating how the person would laugh.
Oh,
and
cute.
he wanted to laugh with them.
Oh, what
yeah,
a sweetie.
He's a sweet person.
Aw.
He was a newspaper reporter for the Buffalo Evening News.
Yeah.
He covered City Hall for 27 years.
Oh my goodness.
And
Wow.
when he retired, folks, somebody had the right connections with the Yankee dugout because they bought him a baseball. Can you get it, honey? It's over.
Oh, yeah.
It's over there in drawer 1. They must have had the right connection. How did they get into the Yankee dugout and get this autographed baseball we're going to show you? And they gave him a Buffalo Bison's windbreaker jacket.
Okay, here's the baseball.
Now, would you show him the names, honey?
Oh, wow. Don Mattingly.
Yep.
I'm trying to show the camera. Yogi Berra.
Yogi Berra.
Oh my gosh. Yogi Berra. Ron
Gidro.
Rick. I can't. Some of them I cannot.
Okay. That's all. Just do the ones you
Wow,
recognize.
Yogi Berra. You bet. Yeah. Wow.
And there's another one.
Lamb something.
Keep going. There's another.
Is this Butch?
Who?
Butch somebody?
Keep going.
Don.
No, there's another one that we've. Keep going, honey.
Rick.
Keep going.
Rick something. Gene something. Yogi Berra. Lamb.
Keep going, honey. There's one I want them to know about. Is it Phil somebody?
There's Don Mattingly.
Okay.
Their signatures, I can't
Okay.
make all of them out, folks.
All right,
Sorry.
honey. We'll get
But
get one of our younger people.
Yeah, exactly. Get April to read it. Sorry about that.
It's okay.
Who's that?
It's not as bad as I am.
Somebody Rudolph. Somebody Rudolph.
Well,
Something.
so A Chat with Glendora is back on Pittsfield Public Access TV. It never should have left there in the first place. But someday we'll discuss that story. Anything else that you want to tell them, honey?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think that, let's see, I want to check which time. Oh, we're at 33 minutes.
Oh,
So we
we're
have
30.
a show.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's all right. It
Yeah.
can go on for another show. I'm going to call Wayne Collins, who was born and brought up in Pittsfield and went to Pittsfield High School,
Okay.
and see what he has to say.
Okay, I'm going to put Franklin back on the wall, or do you want me to keep him here?
Okay. And are we all ready with today's upload?
Yes, it's all
Okay.
uploaded. 22 minutes or 4 minutes.
There we are.
Hello?
Hello, Wayne Collins. Do you hear Glendora?
Yes, I do.
Are
Hi.
you,
Hi,
and,
Wayne.
and this is
Hey,
your
hi.
friend Victoria
Hi.
Carezzi. Wayne, how many years have you lived in Pittsfield?
All my life.
And you never lived anywhere else, did you?
Oh, no.
What do you want to tell the folks? You are the composer and the soloist and the pianist for the theme song, A Chat with Glendora?
Yes.
Good. Tell us about it, Wayne, how you got the inspiration to make that.
Well, I was in church one evening and I started just, plunking around on the piano, and the tune and the words
it came to me as a sudden inspiration.
Yes.
It really didn't take me very long to write it.
Yes, would you sing it for us?
Yes.
Okay, here we go. Take time, honey, to get your key. You know, I sing like a prisoner.
Okay.
Yeah, behind 8 bars looking for a key. So you...
Okay, here it goes. A chat with Glendora, a show for living right. A chat with Glendora makes your day so bright. Words of inspiration, jokes to make you smile. Come relax and chat with Glendora for a while.
Yay!
You have... Yeah.
That was beautiful.
You have... Oh, he does have a very
He
nice...
does a
And he plays the
beautiful
piano,
voice.
too, very well.
I know.
Wayne, you have had many compliments on that.
Oh, thank you.
They have come to me, yeah. Did you ever get any comment on that, Vicki? On his theme song?
Well, from my household, yes.
Oh, your household?
Because they always hear it when I'm editing. So I get all of their feedback. They love it.
They do? Oh, good.
And then you would get all of the feedback from it airing. So
Yes, right.
I bet you there are many.
Yeah, one man said that's all he talked about was the theme song. He just would like to hear the theme song.
Well, I remember, Glendora, at your 94th birthday party, I heard a report that Vicky's little girl was walking around in Happy House 3 singing.
Yeah. Yeah, she was when we came in to get the ice cream.
Vegan ice cream.
Vegan ice cream, of course.
Now, Wayne,
that's funny.
how did you first come across Glendora?
In 1955, when I saw the very first episode of SS Glendora. It was in the summer of 1955.
And that would be in Pittsfield, Massachusetts, honey?
Yes, it was over WRGB Channel 6.
And in the very house you're living in now?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool. You're still in the same house.
Yes, I'm right now sitting in the room where I first saw it.
Oh, that's so great.
We had a Philco television set in those days, and of course, all we had was black and white television at that time with an aerial on the roof. And I didn't even know what program was coming on to replace The Friendly Fireman, which I always used to watch. And there was Glendora on the deck of the SS Glendora ship with 3 of her crew members.
And he's going to tell you the very first thing we said.
Yes, the very first thing was, Glendora said, the Friendly Fireman has taken off in his boat, evidently a rowboat. I took it. Can you see him out there? And she had a pair of binoculars, which she handed to each of the children. And the first 2 said, no, they couldn't see him. And the third one said, yep.
The first one said, nope. And Glennie was beginning to say, oh boy, this is not going to turn out right. How about the second one said nope, right?
Right.
And the
There were
and
2
then
boys and a girl, and it was the oldest boy who said he could see it.
Yeah, he could see
Evidently,
it.
he took the cue. And with live television, you never knew how it was going to really turn out.
No. Oh, you always knew how it was going to turn out badly.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Now, can you tell us anything else?
What would you? In what direction did you want me to move with?
Well, I told the folks earlier before you came on that General Electric was very big then, wasn't it?
Oh, it was. At the time I was in college, which would have been in the 1960s, the late 60s, General Electric was really big, and Pittsfield had a population of about 60,000 people.
Wow.
Wow.
And do I remember correctly, Wayne, that their big manufacturing was transformers?
Yes, that sounds right. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, those were the days, huh?
Yes.
Anything else? Go ahead, Vicki.
No, I was just wondering, so they did the Transformers in Pittsfield?
Yes.
And then, so then in Schenectady, what was happening there? That was all like the home base and the home office?
Yes, it was pretty much, it was the home base.
Yeah, okay.
I know one big thing in Schenectady, I mentioned it earlier, locomotives.
Oh.
Wait, do you remember any of the big things in Schenectady?
No.
Or were locomotives, Alcoa was up north.
Yeah, well, they were the
Messina.
competitor. They were the competitor to
okay.
Alcoa.
Okay.
Well, of course, in Pittsfield, too, General Electric did defense work during World War II.
Oh, boy, did they, yeah.
Yes, so some of their workers, they didn't know what they were working on at the time. They later learned that it was the Manhattan Project.
Oh, no, really?
Yes.
Tell people what the Manhattan Project is.
That was the creation, the manufacture of the atomic bomb.
Yes.
Oh, that's right. Wow.
Yeah, right. That was Oppenheimer, I think.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Anything else, Wayne, you want to tell us?
Well, this is your program about reminiscences of Pittsfield.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
So I have a lot of memories of Pittsfield growing up. It was a good place, a good city in which to grow up. North Street was a hub of commercial activity. And we had the dime stores, Grand Silver,
Yeah.
J.J. Newberry,
Yeah.
Woolworths, F.W. Woolworths.
Yes.
Oh, Woolworths.
But F.W., well, it was Woolworths, and then we had Grant's. And,
Yeah, Grant's was a great store.
Then after Grand Silver, the dime store that moved in there was Kresge's.
Oh, you know what? Sorry to interrupt, but on my mom's side, her mother's maiden name is Kresge.
Oh!
So we're actually related to the Kresge family.
Wow!
It was SS Kresge, I believe, who started it, and then it became Kmart.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, so I've been to one Kresge family reunion.
Oh, gee.
Years and years ago. It was really fun, but, I'm a very distant relative, so.
Oh.
But, yeah, so I just sorry to interrupt. But,
Oh, well, yeah, that was very good.
Those dime stores.
Yeah. Yeah, I wish they still had those.
Yeah, so do I.
Yeah.
And every one of them, it was different from the dollar stores. I always was fascinated by their tropical fish displays there.
Oh, wow.
And,
I like their lunch counters.
yes, I can still see the lunch counter in Newberry's. And then they had one in Woolworths that was over on the left-hand side as you came into the store. And they used to have in Grant's, you could buy the candy in bulk, penny candy type things.
Oh, penny candy. I loved it.
Yes. Then they had the bigger department stores like England Brothers and Holden and Stones. And the men's clothing store then was Bessie Clark.
Oh, wow.
And those businesses are all gone now. The music store was Sammy Vincent's up on North Street, and then the other one was Woolworths up at the other end of North Street, the upper end of North Street. People went and bought records and sheet music. And,
No.
I had an aunt who, when she first graduated from high school, worked in Grant's.
Oh, yeah.
And they used to sell sheet music, of course. They had a piano there. And they had a woman in the department who could play the piano. So if you went in and wanted to buy a piece of sheet music, she'd sit there and play it for you.
Those are the days.
Oh, is that so? Did your aunt? Did she play music?
No, she didn't.
Okay, I was going to say maybe that's where you got it from. Your talents.
Well, I did have a musical background in the family, apparently. One of my ancestors, I'm told, was friendly with the composer Felix Mendelssohn.
Woo!
Oh, wow.
Wow!
When my aunt worked in Grant, she said every morning before the store opened, they'd get around the piano and sing.
Oh, what fun. Those were the days, honey.
Yes.
Now listen, anything else before we say bye-bye?
Yes. Your original program in Pittsfield, Picture Party, Glendora's Picture Party, was up on Bank Row. And one memory that's very vivid of Bank Row is the Berkshire Athenaeum, which was in that beautiful Gothic building with the stained glass windows.
Say that again, the Berkshire Athenaeum.
Yeah, the library, the Berkshire Athenaeum.
And say it again.
Berkshire Athenaeum.
And it was where, Wayne?
Right on Park Square, there on Bank Row.
Really?
Yes, right opposite Park Square. And it had the beautiful woodwork in there and the stained glass windows. And in the children's department, they had a mural that went across the ceiling, and it was all scenes from Alice in Wonderland.
Oh, good. You know what we're going to have to do, Wayne and Vicki?
What?
we're just going to have to do a whole program on reminiscences of Pittsfield. 2 or 3 programs. I'm going to do that, honey.
Okay. I thought that this was the program for that.
Well, that's one, but I just made up my mind I'm going to have several.
This is part
yeah.
1.
Yeah. So tell us, close out if you would, and tell us the last thing
Oh, the last thing.
that you want to tell us before we all part.
Well, one thing that comes to mind is for a short time I went to a school that had been reopened as a 7th grade, and that was on 2nd Street. It was the old Central Junior High School, and I used to go by a feed store every morning, and I'd stop and look at the puppies that were in the window.
Oh, how much is that
That
pup?
dog
Be in the window.
And it was the saddest part was when it was down to one, that there was one puppy that was left.
Don't, please. Nothing sad, honey, okay?
Oh, all right.
No sad.
See, that
This
was
is a happy
possible,
show,
too.
right?
Yes, well, we'll just say someone adopted that puppy.
Yes, eventually someone
Yeah.
did.
Yeah. Okay, sweetheart. Are we all ready to say arrivederci?
I think we are.
I love you all, everybody. There's nothing like television, and now this is the day of public access TV. You can have the last word, Vicki, or you can have it, Wayne.
I'll just say have a nice day, everyone.
Yep, that's what I was going to say. Have a nice day, everyone, and enjoy the show. And get to Pittsfield sometime. I know this is making me want to go for a visit.
Yeah, that's right. We ought to go, and then
Yeah.
we'll eat at the vegan diner.
Yeah,